So one of my most asked questions is why do you not have your authority? You should have it already. So in this video, I am going to be talking about why we didn't get our authority so far, why we joined a carrier to begin with, and what is the reason for our choice of still being with our carrier and not getting our authority, and what are our plans for the future. Are we planning to get our authority or not? If we do, why are we choosing to do it? As always, I'll have links in the description down below of all the research I did and anything I mentioned in this video. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I just got done with the gym and I'm loading into the truck. We're on a team run and we are 23 hours from Phoenix, and right now we're in Indiana, so we have to go. But I figure what better time to talk to you guys about one of my most frequently asked questions, which is why don't we have our authority yet, guys? Last night I was in -5-degree weather. -5-degree weather, so this is wonderful. It's probably like 50 degrees. The sun is warm and shiny. And the truck desperately needs a wash. Ooh. I parked the truck right here in this huge parking lot right in front of Planet Fitness. You can see right there. And I'm waiting for my DoorDash order after I got done with the gym. I have my notes here because I've been doing research for a long time, and I want to make sure that I tell you guys everything that I've been doing for 2 years now. I'm going to tell you guys all my thoughts and research towards getting our own authority, and I'm just going to continue to walk around the truck because in front of all these people, because I want to make it known that I am proud of my job. And then we have to go because we're on a tight team run, but we'll figure that out later. Whoa. Look how gross it is back here. We really do need a truck wash. Disgusting. Like, look at that. That's pretty gross. So, and now my finger is like really disgusting. I need a napkin. I just kind of feel like being outside today next to this deserted Baskin Robbins, and every chance I get to be out of the truck and just enjoy the fresh air and sulk in the reason why I love trucking, which is being outside and being in nature all the time. Nature, as you would so call it. But every time lately, what I've been doing, especially during the winter when I feel really cooped up in the truck because it's so cold, every time I get a chance, I just walk outside and enjoy the fresh air and being in trucking and having the opportunity to bask in the ambiance of nature. So maybe some of you are going through the same thing that we are, and you've had the same thoughts throughout the last few years, and you have the same fears and concerns and worries as we have the last 2 years. This will be a great place to discuss it, and this will be a great place to discuss all of that. Down in the comments, feel free to tell me your experience with getting our authority, why you have it, why you haven't, do you regret getting it? I would love to know each and every one of your experiences so far, but this is my experience. So first, the reason we didn't get our authority right off the bat is for very obvious reasons, and that is we didn't know a goddamn thing about trucking. So I didn't even know that you do get your own authority when you first start. The only thing I knew was to go with the carrier, and it happened to be the right move, and I will tell you why. Even when we were with our carrier, we didn't even know what we were doing the first several months with them. So I couldn't imagine how we would have done on our own without a carrier, without anyone. Not that our carrier is not the most helpful carrier, they just kind of provide the very basic, and that's why they charge a low rate, but it was everything that we needed to get to the place we are today. The reason is that it made us become more independent. We didn't rely on our carrier for almost anything, and they just kind of did the bare minimum. It kind of gave us room to grow and figure out how to do almost everything on our own, and even dispatching ourselves and a whole bunch of other stuff. We kind of feel free out here, and we love that freedom. That is the #1 reason why we love being an owner-operator and why we're doing this to begin with. Even if we got paid the same as a company driver, which that happens to people more often than you think, we would still want to do this because of the freedom and joy that it brings us personally in our life. I'm gonna go back in the truck because I'm scared that you can't hear me at all out here. And I will be pissed if I film this whole video and you can't hear me. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that with our carrier, we saved $12,000 around there for on sales tax when we bought our new truck, because they're based in Missouri, and Missouri has a tax exemption for heavy highway vehicles. So that is a huge reason that we stayed with them. So we ended up not spending really as much as we would have on our carrier services because of having that advantage. So it was totally worth it for us. Shady's back. Tell a friend. So now I'm going to go over all the fears that we've had the last 2 years and why we didn't get our authority and the concerns. The first thing that we were afraid of was taking time off, and taking time off to set up all the things we needed in our paperwork and our authority and our insurance. We were afraid of that because we never take time off. Like, actually, that's a lie. Last year we took a lot of time off, but it wasn't like a vacation. So taking time off still this early on, some people say you're already an owner operator for 2 years, you're already like so deep into the game, and we're totally not. 2 years of owner operating is nothing for trucking. 2 years of anything is nothing. So there's still a lot, and we still are learning every day and growing as truckers, and there's still so many things out there that we have been lucky to not experience. There's still a lot of things that we have to learn. So the other fear that we have is not being able to work with all brokers. So we're aware that there's a lot of brokers that don't work with a new authority and new numbers, but there is still a lot of people that do. So it's up for debate. It's a legitimate fear, but at some point, everyone has had their new authority and new number. So it's just something that you might have a minor setback here and there, but you should be able to still have enough work to survive. This fear is one of the biggest ones, and it's about insurance. And I've heard this from so many people, and I've heard so many different stories. So it's kind of crazy how there's so many people that have talked about insurance, and that's like the biggest speed bump that people come across with getting their own authority and the cost of it. So I'll go over that later about what our cost would be, an estimate, and what other people said their cost was. I'll go over all of that. We don't have that much experience in trucking, so everything plays a part. The other concerns are paperwork, which we're both really bad at. And the other concern is we have equipment, IFTA, and chasing down brokers for payments. All those things are all a concern because we would have to buy our own equipment, which is not a huge deal. A lot of people have their own equipment, but qualifying for it, especially when you just have bought other new equipment, might be hard. And I would want a more newer equipment because I don't like to deal with a lot of issues with older equipment. So I would want my trailer to be at least a 2019 or newer. That's also a standard that a lot of shippers have to ship loads, especially big ones cross country. And then IFTA, I'm finally getting a handle on IFTA, but for the longest time I just couldn't understand it. But I finally got a handle on it, and we just would have to keep track of our own IFTA, which right now our carrier does our IFTA for us. So that's really nice. Doing your own IFTA is not that hard, but combined with everything else, it can just be another thing added to your list. And then chasing down brokers is like a whole thing on its own that people deal with, and it's a real thing that people have to deal with. So I'll also talk about that right after this, about how as having your new authority we could get around that and avoid that whole thing. So I'll go over that right after this. Lastly, of course, the biggest fear is going out of business, and no one wants to go out of business. It's really important to feel safe and comfortable in the career you're in, but at the beginning you're never going to feel safe. No matter how much research you do and how much waiting you do, you just have to jump in, and that's with every part of trucking, that's with every part of life. So there's gonna be a lot of uncomfortability in the beginning, but that's how it has to be, and that's the only way you're gonna grow to the next step. So that's something that I truly believe in, and I've done so many times over, especially even with becoming owner-operators to begin with, or becoming a trucker, there has been so many uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable times in the first year. And sometimes there still is. I still deal with living in the truck, and because every day is never the same, which I love that about trucking, there's also new speed bumps and things that you deal with on a daily basis that are constantly changing and evolving. Just like the world, we're changing and evolving. When you're in the truck, I thrive on the instability, but also it has its trouble points, but I always find a way to get through it. So I know with getting our own authority, everything would be fine and we would survive. It's more about a matter of how much extra time I have to put my energy into it, and is it worth it for me personally? Is there other projects that are more in trucking and in the rest of my life more worth it for me to put my time into? I love trucking and most of my life consists of it, but there's still so many other things in life that I want to do, and there's so many aspirations that I have combined with it. And as much as I don't even know if I will ever give up trucking, but there's so many other things that I like to do along with it. I have a lot of energy that I need to put into things. I need to put into projects, and I love doing projects and being creative and expressing myself. So taking the time out and energy to get my own authority is another thing that I would have to worry about. And for me, is it worth it? It may not be worth it for everyone because it is an additional responsibility, but it can be worth it if you make high gross. It can be worth it because you are spending a decent amount of money on carrier fees, and our carrier charges them the lowest rates in the whole country, yet we still pay a decent amount because we're a team. So I would say listen to our experience during this video and do your own research, and I will put so many links down below for you guys so you can figure out if it's the right move for you. I'm going to talk about all the fears above and how I got through each and every one of them, and the steps that I took to feel confident enough to get our own authority. And when are we going to get our own authority? When it comes to taking time off and our fear with that, I have thought about everything in life that you want to achieve that is far from where you are now takes a sacrifice. It takes an investment, and usually you don't see any rewards right off the bat, and it only takes from you at first and then it gives to you later. So that's one thing that I think about time, and how sometimes I'm like, I don't want to spend time on this and that. I don't know if it's worth it, and when am I gonna see the rewards from this? How long is it gonna take? Are we gonna be in debt for a while? Because every step we've taken in life to go to the next level, we've been in debt for a little, and debt is such a stressful thing, but a lot of times it's necessary to do something bigger and get somewhere different than you are now, and to grow something in your life. Although waiting till you have a ton of savings is always ideal, it's not easy for a lot of people to have hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash saved up, or even $100,000. So a lot of times you just have to jump into it. As long as you believe that you have what it takes and you can persevere through it, you won't waste your time and you won't waste your life on a new endeavor. So when it comes to taking time off, that's how I feel about it. The next point is working with new brokers, and I kind of mentioned earlier that there is a lot of brokers that I'm learning about from my friends that have their own authority that work with new authorities. There's a lot of people out there, there's smaller brokers who are open to taking in a new carrier packet from a new authority. I don't know about the bigger ones. They might be a little harder, but we work with small brokers all the time. We work with medium to small size brokers. It's pretty rare that we work with even TQL or JB Hunt or all those huge, or CH Robinson, all those huge brokers. We mostly work with medium to small size brokers. They sometimes offer better rates because they might have less loads and they're focused more on customer satisfaction instead of big numbers. So I'm pretty confident in that area that we'd be able to work. We might miss out on some loads in the beginning because we have to fill out new carrier packets, and every broker that I've ever called, except for maybe one or two in the last 2 years, are already set up with our carrier, and we don't need to do anything. The load is booked right then and there. I know that in the beginning it's going to be a sacrifice, and we'll have to do new carrier packets, and they may need the load covered right away, so they can't give it to us, but it's only going to be in the beginning. That is just something that we have to get through. I'll put our whole insurance thing at the end of this video and the research I did so far with that. The next thing is the equipment, IFTA, chasing down brokers, all those things. So I've been in contact with a factoring company. I'm sure you heard of them, OTR Factoring. They are the #1 factoring company. So I started talking to them last year when I thought we would probably have our authority by now, and I needed to do some research ahead of time. They were actually very helpful with answering questions I had information on. And I recently spoke to them again, and I'll put links down below to an article that states all the top factoring companies so you can choose for yourself. And I just chose to work with this one so far for multiple reasons, which I will list now. So OTR Factoring was the last push that I needed to get our own authority, and it was really unexpected because I didn't think that at all. It was quite a surprise. I voiced some concerns to them and just randomly, and they actually informed me of several different services that I was worried about that they provide, and with a fraction of the percentage that I pay to my carrier now. So the biggest reason is they can offer me most of the services that I currently use with my carrier, because I don't really use all the services our carrier has anyway. So I know that I'm paying for things that I don't need. So with a factoring company, if you guys haven't heard of what a factoring company is as well, it's a company that does, let me tell you right now. So the basics of what they do, they can do credit checks, and they also are partnered with the DAP board. So when you're on the DAP board, you can go to factoring and it takes you directly to OTR's site, and you can do credit checks and you can be communication with them. Together, they're like a really powerful tool. So the one thing that they do is they pay you within 24 hours of proof of delivery through ACH or whatever. That's awesome. Right now we get paid weekly, but it's usually 2 weeks after we do the load. So, and you can do credit checks for brokers 24/7, which is like, holy crap, who is on the other side of that phone 24/7? Because with our carrier right now, it's only Monday through Friday from around 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and not on weekends. It's a little inconvenient for us only because we work 24/7. I think maybe the average guy doesn't as much, but if you're a hardcore true owner operator, you work on weekends, you work on holidays, yes. There's no long-term contracts, there's no minimums. You can make 20,000 gross a month, you can make 50,000 gross a month. That's great. There's another company that I spoke with that charges more if you make under, I think it's like 40,000 a month. So I was like, damn, what if we like just want to chill out 1 month, so we got to pay a higher percentage? That kind of sucked. I'd rather it be straightforward and just the same all across. Also, I noticed that they partner with lending companies. So if we were struggling to get a loan for new equipment that we would need, like we would need to buy our own trailer, they said that they are very willing to help out with that. Another thing that they're really willing to help out with is also setting up your authority, because that is just something that just tags on my brain. It's something that I procrastinate with because I really don't want to just deal with all the details of it. So they have their own fuel cards, and they have fuel advances up to 50%, and they also have discounts. It's pretty exciting. I've never gotten fuel discounts before. So that was a nice surprise that I didn't even expect. All right, so that is all the basic information for OTR Factoring, and let me know if any of you guys already work with them and what your experience is. So far, mine's is pretty good, and I'm for sure gonna work with them when I get my authority. So if any of you guys sign up with them, let me know what your experience is. So the crazy thing is that our carrier that we pay 12% doesn't offer fuel discounts. They just have the Flying J pilot card that we get cash pricing. So it's a little bit of a discount, but not really. I've been studying about the authority. I've been watching YouTube videos, Googling stuff for a couple years now, getting my own authority, but there's still a lot. That's the biggest thing, is like, how much money do I need to save up to start it? Because for everyone it's different, right? Based on your insurance and based on what factoring company you go with and this and that. So with our carrier right now, we pay 12%. And on top of it, we pay for our insurance, and we pay for equipment rental, and we pay for IFTA, and we pay for heavy highway tax, and we pay for liability insurance, or of course we pay for our own bobtail insurance, and we pay for tolls. We basically pay for everything. The one thing that our carrier doesn't have that I wish that they did have was more fuel discounts, because I'm noticing that everyone is offering fuel discounts these days. So if you don't have it, it's kind of like, what are you doing? The obvious first thing that I noticed about having a factoring company, I think almost everyone that has their authority has a factoring company. It's very useful, and it's a very reasonable rate. So we pay 12% with our carrier right now, and they charge anywhere from 2 to 4%. So that's around a quarter of what we pay now. But they're able to offer us almost everything that we have. So it's kind of like, when I found that out, I was like, why would we not get our authority in that case? So basically, since I've spoken with them, I've come up with all the reasons why I now feel more comfortable with getting our authority, and I am planning to probably this summer. So whenever I can take some time out and just get it done. So saving money, we paid around $40,000 to our carrier in the year of 2021 just for the 12% services. And if we go with a factoring company instead and get our own authority, we would pay a lot less than that. So that's kind of important, and we didn't even make a lot last year compared to what we would have made. So it's something really to consider for this year, and I do have a video coming out of how much we made for 2021. So just hold on, it's coming soon. I know you guys want to know. I know you guys are so nosy. So I have a link down in the description that you can join OTR Factoring, and if you mention me, they said that they're willing to possibly give you guys a discount on your services. So discount on 2 to 4%, which is already so much lower than any possible carrier out there. So you can just mention Natasha Trucking to them. If you call, I also will put a link down below that'll take you straight so you can sign up and get a discount as well. If you guys have any questions, as usual, feel free to reach out to me and I would do the best. I will make a thorough video after this when I'm signing up for my authority, every step of the way, with getting my DOT, my MC number, with getting my factoring with OTR, with the equipment that I choose to buy, and thankfully we already have our tractor, so we don't have to worry about buying that, because that would be so stressful if we were leasing right now or something and we had to also get our own truck. Couldn't imagine. Also, thank you for OTR Factoring for partnering with me on this video. You guys are truly the best, and everyone thank OTR Factoring for offering you guys a discount, because that's super cool. I'll also put their phone number down below that you can contact as well to get information for yourself. I hope you guys will also reap the benefits that I have working with them so far. Alright, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is insurance. Oh, the most scariest part of having your own authority, especially a new authority. So I've heard people paying anywhere from $2,000 a month to $5,000 a month, which is so crazy. Right now we pay $200 a week, so in a whole month we only pay $800, which is definitely some of the lowest you're gonna see out there. So to break down on insurance, we pay $800 a month for cargo, we pay $60 a week for liability, and then we pay $700 a month for bobtail. I don't know why it's so high, but it might be because we have a brand new truck. Our bobtail insurance is with Great American, and I heard Progressive is some of the best ones, although we did get quoted higher for Progressive, so that's why we decided to go with the one we're with now, and they're really good. So I'd recommend them. I can also put a link to them down below as well if you want to check them out. We've had them since we first started trucking 2.5 years ago. We've had them the whole time, and when we got a new truck, we got their insurance as well. So total 800 plus 250 plus 750. So total every single month we pay only $1,800, which is, I haven't heard so far of anyone with their authority paying as low as $1,800, so I know we're doing good with that, although we do sacrifice and we pay our carrier as well. Right now, because we're so new and we have so little experience, we don't even have an LLC that has a credit history on it and all that, our insurance would be pretty high. I got a range of anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000, and that's for us because both of us are super new at trucking in general. We don't even have that much experience trucking and then owner operating, and then we have to, so we decided to get our LLC, and we're just waiting. It's been taking a really long time for reasons that you can probably guess. We're waiting for our EI number, which takes longer than usual because it's commercial company, so it takes longer. So we're waiting on that, and then we're gonna open a bank account under our name and get some credit established, and we should be at the place where we're able to have our own authority sometime this year. I think you probably have to have an LLC to have your own authority. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Thank you everyone for watching another video, and I hope you got some good information from this and it helps somebody out there in some way. And I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my experience too. And I love hearing the details of what other people are doing and why they make the choices they do. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like watching my videos. I post on Instagram. You can follow me there. I post on there several times a week. Natasha Trucking. Oh, we have a TikTok now. You guys can follow us there. We only started it like 2 weeks ago, and we post there every day almost. So just random stuff. So you guys can follow us there and get some more updates. And I'm gonna head out now. And right now it's 5:02, and I'm gonna drive till 1 or 2 in the morning, and then we're gonna swap. And right now we're in Indiana, and then we gotta deliver in Phoenix in a day and a half. So I'm gonna get going, but I really want to film this video for you guys and answer your questions, and I can't wait for the next one. I'm so happy we finally got to address the whole authority thing, and I will let you guys know, of course, when we get it. You'll be the first ones to know when we get our authority. And I can't wait to get our authority, and I can't wait to save some money. So, thank you guys for watching another video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. I belong to you.